Words. This is a short take on words, that is, their place in a biblical worldview, and how the corrosive nature of postmodernism brings mass confusion because words lose their meaning. Now, this is an important subject and eminently practical at this cultural moment because our ability to communicate with each other is in jeopardy. Indulge me a little time to develop the idea. Right now, I'm able to communicate with you because the words that I use are words you know. We agree on their meaning. Spoken words are distinctive sounds that we agree mean something fixed. Written words are graphic symbols of the same. I'm able to give voice to the words because we've agreed to pronounce the letters that make up the words the same way. It's called language. And it's why someone who knows only English can't understand a Pakistani speaking Urdu. But two Urdu speakers can understand each other. Language is an agreement to make the words that we speak or write mean something that we agree on. But catch this. The spoken and written word isn't the same thing that it represents. The word hamburger points to a ground beef sandwich, but the word isn't the thing itself. You can't say hamburger and taste an In-N-Out double-double. You can't write Hamburger on a piece of paper, put it in your mouth, start chewing, and then say, ooh, that's good. While a spoken or written word isn't the thing itself, we can negotiate the world side by side as human beings comprising a society because we all agree to apply a common meaning to the words that we use. If I say, let's go get burgers, and then drive to the clothing store, you might be miffed because your mouth was getting ready for food. What would confuse you is if I grabbed a pair of shoes and said, oh, these are great hamburgers. I wanted these burgers for a while. Now, question, is my purchase at the clothing store a pair of burgers or shoes? No law says that I have to call them shoes. I can call them whatever I want. The problem is, the next time that I invite you to lunch saying, let's get tacos, you'd be wise to decline. Because I'm technically within my right to call things whatever I want. I'm unwise to pour meanings into words that others don't, not if I want to function as a healthy individual among them. And that's the problem today. Words that Western civilization has used, not just for centuries, but for millennia, are being stripped of their meaning. New meanings are being poured into words that point to something foreign to what they've traditionally been known for. Words like gender, sex, male, female, man, woman, race, truth, reason, love, hate, violence, child, justice. The Judeo-Christian world that birthed and nurtured Western civilization, a civilization, by the way, that gave rise to the blessings and comforts of the modern world, producing the greatest measure of civil liberty, science and technology, and a socioeconomic system that has produced the highest standard of living for the most people in all of history by far. I'm not foolish enough to think that Western civilization doesn't have problems. It most certainly does. But it had the philosophical basis to address those problems over time, as history amply proves. Historic injustices and inequities were being redressed as the foundational values of the Judeo-Christian worldview were progressively carried into practice. But all of that is now in grave jeopardy because of the promotion of the misguided idea that asserting words ought to have a standard meaning is a reflection of someone's privilege, a form of oppressive cultural hegemony. For our society, any society really, not just to thrive, but to even survive, its dictionary must be inseparably linked to its vocabulary. People can't take words that are central to what it means to be human and are tied to objective realities and treat them as though they can mean whatever someone prefers them to be. Life, reality don't work that way. Now, for sure, no society can work that way because the kind of communication needed for it to function will be impossible. Just before Alexander Solzhenitsyn was exiled from Russia, he penned an essay to the Russian people in which he called on them to continue repeating the lies the Marxist system demanded that they espouse. Everyone knew socialism was a farce, but the only way to secure the few perks the system did offer was to faithfully tout the party line. Solzhenitsyn knew the only thing propping up the corrupt corpse of communism was the collective will of the people to keep repeating the lies. If enough of them stopped and said, "I will no longer repeat what I know to be untrue," the system would collapse. They did, and it did. Americans and Europeans must resist the postmodern program of redefining words like man, woman, justice, love, truth, and a host of others.